Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tejiri. Here are our top stories. Federal government denies genocide claims against Christians. Federal government steps in, moves to halt Dangote-Pengassin showdown. On GA 80, NGF Kavista CCA partner to attract investment. Netanyahu meets Trump amid Gaza war isolation. Greatest of all time tournament kicks off hunt for Africa's next football stars. Now to the news in full. The federal government has dismissed allegations by some international groups and online commentators that terrorists in Nigeria are carrying out a systematic genocide against Christians. The minister highlighted recent military gains, revealing that between May 2023 and February 2025, over 13,500 terrorists were neutralized and nearly 10,000 hostages rescued nationwide. He also confirmed the capture of the leadership of Ansaru, Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate, last month in a major counter-terrorism operation. Idris emphasized Nigeria's inclusive leadership, with Christians and Muslims holding top military and police positions, and pointed to global recognition for interfaith peacebuilding, citing the Commonwealth Peace Prize awarded to Reverend James Wuye and Imam Mohammed Ashafa. He reiterated President Tinubu's commitment to protect all citizens and prosecute terrorists, stressing that Nigeria's story is one of resilience, diversity, and coexistence, not genocide. In a statement, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, described the claims as false, divisive, and a distortion of Nigeria's complex security challenges, insisting that both Muslims and Christians have been victims of terrorism. The minister urged international media and commentators to avoid sensationalism and instead support Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts. The federal government is moving quickly to avert a looming strike by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengassin, over its dispute with the Dangote refinery. It was gathered that officials of the Labour Ministry have initiated talks with both Dangote refinery management and Pengassin leadership, stressing that there is no alternative to peace. The minister confirmed that invitations have been sent to both sides for an emergency conciliation meeting in Abuja. Dingyadi warned that the strike in the petroleum sector would not only trigger revenue losses, but also deepen hardship for Nigerians, with severe consequences for economic stability and national security. He assured the parties that government would ensure a fair resolution in line with the national interest. Labour Minister Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi has appealed to the union to shelve its planned strike, urging both parties to embrace dialogue in the interest of peace and national stability. As Nigerians brace for the outcome of today's emergency meeting, all eyes are on Abuja, where the federal government hopes to broker a truce and keep the refinery dispute from escalating into a nationwide crisis. As the tenure of INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu and some national commissioners expires in November, stakeholders are warning against the president's continued power to appoint his successor. They argue that such control undermines the independence of the electoral body and tilts the process in favor of the ruling party. At a round table in Abuja, the stakeholders unveiled a citizens' memorandum for reform of the electoral legal framework, containing 37 recommendations. The document, split into constitutional and electoral act reforms, seeks to strengthen INEC's professionalism and public trust ahead of the 2027 elections. Speakers like Cynthia Mbamba Lu of Yaga Africa, IPC's Lanre Arogundade, Dr. Akin Akingbolu of Semeso, and senior lecturer Tony Oyima emphasized that Nigeria's democracy depends on ensuring INEC's neutrality. They insist that broadening consultations beyond the Council of State to other societal stakeholders is key to credible elections. With just weeks to Yakubu's exit, the debate over who appoints the INEC chairman is heating up, raising fresh questions about whether the 2027 polls will be free, fair, and trusted by Nigerians. Civil society groups including Yaga Africa, the Kuka Center, PLAC, and the International Press Center want constitutional amendments that will strip the president of this power. Instead, they propose a multi-stakeholder system involving traditional rulers, religious institutions, and civil society in the appointment process. Former APC National Chairman and ex-governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has launched a blistering attack on his political rival, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and incumbent Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, accusing them of inconsistency and directionless leadership. In a TV program monitored in Kaduna, Ganduje said Kwankwaso lacked political stability, recalling that the NNPP leader once mocked President Tinubu and vowed never to join the APC. Turning his criticism on Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, Ganduje accused him of wasting resources and running a clueless government. He argued that unlike his own administration, which focused on continuity, Yusuf's government started off with probes that yielded no results, despite receiving what he claimed was more revenue in 6 months than his 8 years in office. On his removal as APC national chairman, Ganduje downplayed the development, insisting it was only about zoning and rotation. As Kano politics heats up ahead of the 2027 elections, Ganduje's fiery remarks have deepened the rift between the APC, NNPP, and Governor Yusuf's camp, setting the stage for what could be another bruising political battle in the state. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting of APC leaders in Kano, his first since leaving office, Ganduje dismissed rumors of Kwankwaso's possible return to the APC, describing him as a madman who swallowed his vomit. He also likened the current administration to a government of vendetta, bandits, and confusion. We'll take a short break right here. More news stories on the other side when we return.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make her a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. The Nigerian Governors Forum, Corporate Council on Africa, and Cavista Holdings have struck a major partnership in New York on the sidelines of the 80th UN General Assembly, aimed at boosting foreign direct investment and tackling food insecurity in Nigeria. Chairman of Cavista Holdings and CCA, Mr. Niyi John Olachide, said Nigeria is both a present and future frontier of value creation, stressing that Cavista's investments in agriculture, hospitality, technology, and energy are already creating jobs and transforming lives. Governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Mohammed Umar Bago, and Dauda Lawal joined the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, and other dignitaries at the event, signaling strong international interest in Nigerian opportunities. Olajide highlighted Cavista's flagship projects, including Africa's largest cassava farm, the revamped Ikogosi Warm Springs Resort, and digital solutions through Cavista Technologies and PaySip, as examples of impactful investments that align with the country's development goals. The partnership marks a renewed push to drive international confidence in Nigeria's economy and strengthen collaboration between government, investors, and the private sector. The exclusive Gaza Gala Night drew investors, finance leaders, and a high-powered Nigerian delegation led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented by Education Minister Dr. Tunji Alausa. Speakers urged global investors to key into President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to unlock Nigeria's economic potential. On the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet U.S. President Donald Trump in New York today, Monday, as Israel faces mounting isolation abroad and growing pressure at home over the war in Gaza. Tens of thousands of Israelis have been protesting, urging Netanyahu to accept a ceasefire deal that would free hostages and end the conflict. Families of captives directly appealed to Trump to use his influence, calling for a comprehensive agreement to stop the war. Israel's international isolation has deepened, with the UK, France, Canada, and Australia now recognizing Palestinian statehood. Analysts say Netanyahu may have little choice but to accept Trump's plan, as Washington remains his last key ally. All eyes are now on Monday's meeting, where Trump and Netanyahu will attempt to bridge differences and decide the next steps for Gaza. The talks come just days after Trump unveiled a 21-point peace plan with Arab and Muslim leaders, insisting we will get it done, while Netanyahu vowed at the UN to finish the job against Hamas. In China, former Agriculture Minister Tang Renjiang has been sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve after being found guilty of taking massive bribes. Tang, who once served as governor of Gansu province and vice chairman of Guangxi, admitted to the charges and expressed remorse. His sentencing is the latest in President Xi Jinping's sweeping anti-corruption drive, which has already brought down former defense ministers Li Shangfu and Wei Fenghe. Supporters hail the campaign as promoting clean governance, but critics argue it also helps Xi eliminate political rivals. Tang's conviction underscores Beijing's continued hardline stance on corruption at the highest levels of government. The People's Court in Changchun ruled that Tang accepted cash and property worth more than 268 million yuan and $38 million between 2007 and 2024. Crimes, the court said, caused particularly severe losses to the state and people. Away from the foreign scene now to some sports news. The Game on Africa tournament, better known as GOAT, is set to unearth Africa's next generation of football talents, with Nigeria and Ghana squaring off in a groundbreaking under-19 contest. At a press conference in Owerri, Project Director Jennifer Anusiam announced that registration is already open, with matches scheduled to begin October 4th in Nigeria and October 7th in Ghana. The tournament will run across 4 Nigerian states: Imo, Enugu, Lagos, and Abuja, and 4 Ghanaian regions: Greater Accra, Oti Central, and Ashanti. State and regional champions will advance to the national finals before Nigeria's winner meets Ghana's champion in a 2-legged final. The ultimate winner will embark on a London youth football tour, with potential fixtures against West Ham United's under-19s. CEO of the project, Nemeka Nwakwo, said his own missed opportunity to sign for Leeds United inspired him to create GOAT, ensuring young players don't face the same heartbreak. He stressed that scouts from top English clubs will be on ground, while all passports, visas, and travel expenses will be fully covered for the champions. Powered by Afrexim Bank, organizers say the competition will not only crown a continental champion, but also open doors to global opportunities, including a youth football tour of London, where the winners will face English Academy sides. With registration closing September 30th in Nigeria and October 2nd in Ghana, anticipation is building fast. Organizers say GOAT will be a premier platform to discover and showcase Africa's future football stars to the world. Real Madrid defender Dani Carvajal is set to miss around a month after suffering a calf injury during Saturday's 5-2 derby defeat to Atletico Madrid. The club confirmed the injury on Sunday, saying his progress will be monitored, though Spanish media report he will be sidelined for at least 4 weeks. Carvajal's absence comes at a difficult time for Los Blancos, with fellow right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold also out injured, leaving coach Carlo Ancelotti to consider Fede Valverde as cover. Carvajal is expected to sit out Champions League ties against Kairat and Juventus, as well as league games against Villarreal and Getafe, plus Spain's upcoming World Cup qualifiers. The setback piles more pressure on Madrid's defense ahead of the season's biggest game. The 33-year-old Spain international is now a major doubt for the El Clasico clash against Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabeu on October 26th, and could also miss key Champions League and La Liga fixtures. With our sports news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today, right on Atlantic TV. Do also follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a good day.